I got to her. I'll get to everyone.
Okay, Meredith.
Just like my favorite character, Meredith from Disclosure. Meredith from The Office would be on. Now that's more my speed.
You mean to tell me in 12 seasons of The Office they didn't do a Disclosure joke?
You know what? They made sure that you knew that Meredith was a sexual explorer / alcoholic on occasion. Never have I related more to a character than Meredith on The Office. Time she got hit by a car. Michael Scott actually hit her with his car. Oh, God, yeah. Anyway, The Office is a great show.
It is. It is a great show.
Yeah.
Unlike the movies of 1994.
Which we just keep getting 1994 dick slapped against our face.
So sad.
Why? Why? Just why?
Amy, who's the show brought to you by?
Oh, did we start the fucking show?
Welcome to the I Hate Critics 1994 podcast. Amy denies that all cats are jellicle.
Because it's not a word. It's just something somebody made up. That's not a thing. It's not a thing.
T.S. Eliot made that up.
Well, it's stupid.
Wow.
I'm also a T.S. Eliot denier.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your take on Thoreau?
Oh, Louis, I love him. Justin, occasionally. Oh, you're talking about the old one.
Henry David.
I guess, okay, cool. I guess I'm more like people who are alive. Like, I like people that live. Just like our great president said.
I like those losers who keep dying.
Fucking losers.
Pay your insurance premiums. Maybe you won't die.
Maybe you won't
I don't know.
Jeez. I'm just saying.
If you paid us more in insurance money, our AI wouldn't deny you. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, that's true. That's actually true. Oh, yeah. The podcast is brought to you by the Pontiac Fiero, the disclosure of cars.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it smells like sweat and someone trying to say no to sex.
I thought it was impossible to make Demi Moore look so horrible, not physically, but just like as a horrible living thing.
Yeah.
She did a pretty good job in this.
She's deeply unpleasant in this movie.
That's right. We saw Disclosure, by the way, and
yeah.
Wow.
Disclosure tells the story of a software engineer, the head of a manufacturing department at a software company, played by Michael Douglas, because everybody in the 90s wanted to fuck Michael Douglas.
No, they didn't.
Watch the movies, Amy. Watch the movies.
I don't understand.
Basic Instinct, Fatal Attraction. Everybody wants to fuck Michael Douglas.
Except for me.
And we wonder why he was addicted to sex for so long. Everybody's trying to fuck him. All the time. He just walks out his door and there's just pussy just waiting there for him.
Thought that was Nick Nolte's thing.
It's also a Nick Nolte thing.
It's also a Gary Busey thing. Yeah, I don't get it. Someone explain to me the sex appeal of Michael Douglas, who consistently juts out his bottom lip.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. It kind of looked like he had a stroke a few times in this movie, just by the way his mouth looked. But
yeah,
I don't get
his little Dutch boy haircut.
Oh, his little Dutch boy. Oh, he could be selling paints if he just slaps a little floppy hat on his head.
Put a little cap on his head.
Oh, put a little cap on it, buddy.
No, it can't be Dutch boy. It's feathered.
Yeah, but you don't know what it looks like under Dutch boy's actual hat.
True, he could be doing a lot of feathering.
It could be a lot of feathering. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, again, for years, see, going into Disclosure, we as people of a certain age already knew what we were getting ourselves into because we'd heard so much. I mean, this movie was just torn to shreds back then.
But it was part of the zeitgeist, just like all of, like Demi Moore in Indecent Proposal and Demi Moore in Striptease and Demi Moore in G.I. Jane. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that Demi Moore was important, and nobody talks about that enough. Yeah. Because she's currently in the running for an Academy Award for The Substance, which she's incredible in. She delivers the best performance of any actress alive in 2024, and I will hear nothing else about that. And I love you, Nicole Kidman. You're great in Baby Girl, but it's Demi Moore.
Yeah.
It's Demi Moore.
It's the year of Demi Moore.
She's not going to win. And again, Mikey Madison in Honora is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I will not complain when Mikey Madison wins an Academy Award for Honora. I'm just saying that my personal preference is that Demi Moore crushed this.
Yeah.
And part of what makes Demi Moore so amazing in The Substance is the fact of who Demi Moore is. And I don't think people give enough credit to this. There's a certain kind of excitement or thrill to the idea that Demi Moore is playing this character.
Yeah.
This character who's aged, who's being pushed out of her industry by her age, because of her age, and all that Demi Moore went through her entire career, undeservedly.
Yeah.
I mean, just completely undeserving. If you look back on the narrative, it's like she's just this like sexually voracious woman who's eating men alive or something. Like she was just, oh my God, she's forcing her sexuality on everyone. It's like, no, you guys all just want to really look at her. And
That's it.
She's okay with that.
Yep.
She's trying to play your game.
Yeah.
But then she shaved her head for G.I. Jane, so she's not fuckable anymore.
Oh,
and
no.
we hate her.
No. Back then, I believe that they said that she's a full-on dyke.
Yeah.
The minute that she shaved her head for G.I. Jane.
Because this is the culture that disclosure is coming up.
That's 100%. And again, we were complicit. You know, we were part of this era.
We were.
Albeit young.
Yeah.
Very young, but...
We can't claim... I mean, wrong is wrong.
Wrong is wrong. Yeah, and you know, like, I won't forget, when I think about her, I think about when Charlie's Angels, was it 2, came out, and she was playing the baddie in that one. Everybody's like, Demi Moore's comeback. It's like, did she really go away, though? Or did we just kind of say, you know what, we're not going to have her.
You're less fuckable right now.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
We're not interested anymore.
Yeah, I think that it's such a shame because she's such a terrific actress. She just really is terrific. And her body of work speaks for itself. In this movie, I mean, again, there were a few moments with her character, and again, we'll kind of give a synopsis in case you don't know, but I just want to say that at the outset, because we love her so much, there were a few moments of woodenness that I noticed, kind of like dead behind the eyes, but then I'm thinking maybe that was by design. So let's tell people.
I mean, this is just a function of having a terrible script to work with.
Right.
This is not a good script.
Yeah. Yeah. it's not fair.
There's a movie that stops dead so we can watch Dennis Miller walk into Donald Sutherland's office.
That's my favorite scene. It was 2 seconds, and then poof, it was gone. Like, oh, give me more of that, please.
I did this thing when I was teaching myself about film where I would watch a movie and stop at the end of each scene so I could look back and see why the scene was here. And it's a great way to learn actually how filmmaking works. You can because you can pause and you can look at the angles and the setting, and then you can think about the essential information that has been conveyed. And I guess the essential information that is being conveyed is that Miller's character, Lewin, is being told part of the scheme so that he can manipulate Douglas, but it's still, we've already been given this information that he's going to that guy's office and that all we need to do is jump to the next scene. But it's like when somebody says, oh, well, if we don't watch the car back out of the driveway and then onto the street, how will we know they're driving?
Right. I think what is it? Now I can't think of what it was. It's kind of a celluloid cul-de-sac you get into. It's like, we're here, something's going to happen. Nope, we're turning right back around and going back out. To me, like, shit like that. I remember we did, it was for one of the college courses we took. I thought it was you that we had to film just something like going into a room, but first we had to unlock the door. So we had to put the key in, close up on the key, into the doorknob, turning the doorknob. Do you remember that at all?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what, so I get why we do things, but see, that little short film, albeit like a minute, was just to show, how do we get into a room? by unlocking the door to go into
it's
the room.
a progression of events, but also it gives you it also gives you room to be like creative. Where do you want the angle of your shot? What do you want to can you convey more information than just opening the door with just the visual of it? It's a really great exercise,
right?
But if you're somebody who doesn't understand or you're just new to it, you shouldn't get it right at the first try. You'll probably just rotely go through the process of showing a key going into a door, that kind of thing. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, but if you're Barry fucking Levinson.
You're Barry Levinson showing the key going into the door, showing the key coming out of the pocket, going to the door, into the lock, turning the key, turning the knob. Like, it's a little bit much, Barry. You've been doing this for a while.
Well, again, at the outset, we'll get more into this, but this film has some of the most clunky editing we've ever seen in our lives.
Oof.
Oof, oof, oof.
So Michael Douglas is the star of the film. What was his character's name?
Hang on. Sanders. Tom Sanders.
Tom Sanders. Good God, could you come up with a more bland name?
He is kind of a bland man. There's nothing really of note about him. You know what I mean? Like, nothing stands out when I think of him.
He's incredibly beige.
100%.
To steal your wonderful insult. All credit to you on that.
I said that years ago, by the way, decades ago.
About many different things.
Many different things.
So anything that doesn't make an impression, beige is a good descriptor.
Yep. Yeah.
Nickelback.
You talk about some sort of song on the radio. He'd say nothing beats a great pair of khakis. Because that's what that song reminds me of. You know what I mean? Like that's it. So
Tom Sanders is a software manufacturer. He's the head of his division. He thinks he's going to get the big promotion this day. He doesn't get it. It goes to his ex, played by Demi Moore, Meredith. And she then proceeds to sexually assault him after work. Then the next day she says that he did it. And it's he said, she said.
Right.
He sues the company. And all of this is a big scheme by the company to cover up a major mistake that she made. Why don't they just fire her? I don't know,
She's hot.
Let's risk our $100 million business deal so I can stare at her ass.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that actually sounds like something...
That's very white corporate America in the 90s.
And today.
And today, sadly.
But they can't do it as openly today.
No, now they just bitch that they can't do it openly.
Although it's coming back.
It's coming back. Thank God we got another 4 years with the nightmare of a single cell... I fuck that guy. Anyway, yeah. So, but, I mean, what I remember was some of the discourse about Demi's character was like, hey, the tables have turned. And then men were just like, see? And it's like, but okay, women weren't saying that you didn't know what that was like. We were just saying it happens to us. And, when we talk about it,
I mean, statistically, it's like 95-5.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's true. But to dismiss the idea that a man can be sexually harassed is insane. It can happen to anyone. And I think that framing it in this way that they did, I don't know.
This is a big problem with like masculine culture in general, where usually in a situation like this, men are encouraged to just go ahead and do it because it's cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead and fuck her. What the hell's the problem?
Yeah.
What would have happened if he had actually just fucked her? What were they going to do? What was the plan then if he just got ahead with it? Do you think they couldn't have been filming it because they would have used that somehow in the movie?
Well, I mean, I guess then he would be kind of like her.
I guess he'd be under
guy?
Threat to that. I'll tell your wife that we had sex. I don't know.
Right. Well, again, it's a power struggle, or it's a power play for her. Yeah. Like, would the movie just end? Then they had sex, and then they went on to all be millionaires later.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know how that would have played out any other way.
She goes to Donald Sutherland. Well, he didn't go for it. What do you mean? We fucked. Ah, shit. Now what kind of scheme we're going to do?
I know this is stupid, but I was literally writing out the word disclosure. I started to write it out, and I'm like, man, wouldn't that be funny to have that like as a tattoo, but in bubble letters?
Disclosure?
Like rainbow bubble letters. And people be like, so what's that about? He's like, it's my favorite movie. But I just make it really girly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like as puffy and girly as I possibly can. I don't know why that just occurred to me, but it's like, God, that'd be so funny. Just to talk about your favorite, but like not have it in the font it was meant to be.
No.
Because if you put it in bubble letters, that movie would have to be an entirely different story.
Comic Sans.
Comics. Oh my God.
Anytime, like if you could just think of a movie and think of the credits in Comic Sans, like fonts are funny, people. I'm sorry,
fonts are funny.
Fonts are funny.
If you know,
I just want you.
Fuck?
I just want you to think for a moment about the Godfather opening credits
in
Comic Sans. That's funny.
See, that's
funny.
what we should do. Again, like those are the next tattoos I'm getting. Straight up, really bad font with my favorite films.
Take the poster for The Brutalist, but make it in a Lisa Frank style.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. You know, zhuzh it up a bit. You know, make it acceptable for an 11-year-old girl to say, "Gee, I love that tattoo." What's that movie about? Sexual harassment. But it's in Comic Sans. You know, I will defend Comic Sans for the rest of I don't care what anybody says. It is the funniest font. And if you can send like an apology email in Comic Sans, I think that's even funnier. We don't get that enough.
Send a work email in Comic Sans.
In Comic Sans. See what they say.
Just
if they come back to you.
There's a movie, The Amazing Bulk. You know, The Amazing Bulk?
Yes.
Alison Pregler did a video on it years ago on YouTube, and the credits for that movie are in Comic Sans. She just loses her shit over it. It's great. Comic Sans.
I suppose they couldn't actually use webdings or wingdings, because it's not really letters.
No, I don't think so.
But I do like looking at them and then imagining like, well, okay, there's two of those. There's got to be two T's in there or something like that. Webdings, wingdings. If Disclosure's title was in webdings or wingdings, I think that'd be pretty funny too.
Oh.
I might do that. Actually, that's a good tip.
Give it a shot.
You know.
Jeff, get to work.
I'm going to do Disclosure in rainbow bubble letters. And then underneath it, have it in Comic Sans say starring Demi Moore and Michael Douglas. It's a great tattoo.
Jeff,
that's a great tattoo.
I want the poster of Disclosure, but in Comic Sans.
Comic Sans.
The regular poster
yep.
with Demi Moore like laying on Michael Douglas,
yep.
but the Disclosure's in Comic Sans.
Yeah, colorful.
And the R is turned around like
the Disclosure. Wingding.
Why is the movie called Disclosure, by the way?
Because
what is anybody disclosing?
No one is. That's the.
Did anyone disclose anything?
Nothing.
I don't think there's a single disclosure in Disclosure.
Well, they couldn't use the title "Secrets and Lies," obviously, because it was already out.
Yeah.
But Disclosure, I don't really know nothing was really disclosed to us, at least. We were lost. And the thing is, like, okay, I'm looking back at this movie. I'm like, okay, is it as bad as everybody said it was? No, I don't think. I think that there are moments of this film that may have been actually interesting. I love a good, like, kind of an office drama. Like, I was more interested in the peripheral characters. I was more interested in the lawyer that he got, Roma Mafia, who I love. And then Donald Logue is in there. I love him so much.
It becomes a different movie when Roma Mafia walks in.
It does. I want that movie. I want that movie with just her taking these assholes to task. She's so good at it. She's just you just love her. And you know, she won't back down. She's not afraid of anything. So Michael Douglas, his character, Tom, really happened upon something good there. Like there are little elements of this movie that I think could have made for a better movie. They could have done the power struggle. They could have done the reverse sexual harassment, I guess, to label it stupidly, and made it a good film. But this wasn't it.
The scheme is so stupid.
It is. It's
such a dumb
so stupid.
scheme.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, she went to Malaysia basically and fucked up their entire product line, and then everybody conspired to make it his fault for reasons.
Why'd you do that? Reasons. Have you seen my tattoo in Comic Sans?
Was she like blackmailing Donald Sutherland? Like, I don't understand. Like,
I didn't even understand why. It's like, oh, well, it was all her. She was the reason we got but how? Like,
well, she cut costs and raised the stocks up because she cut costs. But then when she cut costs, it also cut the quality of the product, which made the product fail.
Oh, but that was Tom's fault.
That was Tom's. Well, they blamed it on him because they needed a scapegoat, I guess. It's a really dumb plan.
It is a dumb plan.
And when your thriller entirely turns on a really dumb plan, it makes the whole thing look pretty stupid.
You know, you've got a point there. I agree.
But then also like fucking him just seems like needless. Like, why did she fuck him and then pretend that he sexually harassed her? Like,
I feel like, again, if she would have, done the deed with them to maybe keep him on her side, so that way nothing would come out, and she would just keep gratifying him in a way
until I could fire him for incompetence.
Yes, exactly.
All he needed to do was get to Tuesday. They couldn't even get to Tuesday.
We didn't even get to Tuesday. We got to Friday.
The hard edits of the days, the week into the movie.
Well, not that, let's rewind to the fucking beginning. And you guys, if you are old enough to remember, this is about the information superhighway, okay? So
this is the World Wide Web.
And if you don't say World Wide Web, we don't know what you're talking about. There's a lot of virtual reality stuff in here, a lot of weird, like, it's just so funny, like, back then, what they thought email was, and then when you actually got which, by the way, you only got one email a day.
In this movie.
You could have, like, several inter-business emails without having a sender that they came from. Like, they didn't know how the internet worked, and yet the internet was out. It was live. It was happening. Everyone was getting 50 discs a day of AOL. So why they acted like they didn't know, is like, is that how the internet works? But and like they could have just used Clippy.
Disclosure is like it's a speculative science fiction, if you will, like speculating what the internet might be like and being wrong about it.
Very wrong about it.
Kind of embarrassingly wrong about it for a movie that is this much about tech. No, maybe I should qualify. Maybe this was intensely correct at the time.
It wasn't.
I don't want to call out Michael Crichton too much, but like he wrote the book Disclosure, on which the movie is based on. This is his baby with Barry Levinson, who's just not the director for this movie. But
no.
Let's get the director of Rain Man for our sex thriller.
Well, I guess, that kind of threw me off. Again, when I think of Barry Levinson, I think about my teen years and remembering, because certain directors would stick out in my mind. Levinson was always one of those that would stick out. And for some reason, I thought he was good. Not in this movie.
I don't like Rain Man. Yeah.
How do you not like Rain Man?
I don't care for Rain Man. I don't. I think it's I just think Dustin Hoffman is just garbage.
Oh, well, yeah, we don't like him. Fuck him. I don't like Tom Cruise.
He put his hands on Meryl Streep. So sorry, Dustin. Go fuck yourself.
You're off the roster, and
but also no. I just didn't think that character was believable. I thought it was kind of silly, and it seemed like to me like autism blackface.
Well, we see that every day.
It's not like music levels or anything.
No.
See his music. Check out Evasive's new video on YouTube.
Yeah, holy shit.
Fucking great.
Actually, if you're autistic, don't check out that video. You will be so pissed off. As well you should.
It's important that you tackle autistic people in the midst of a crisis. No, I'm kidding.
Don't do that. Don't, as someone who works with autistic, do not do that. No, but okay, so yeah, I mean, in comparison to like, I don't know, I guess like I said, I think about directors that always stay in my head. For some reason, he always was one. Was he an Oscar winner?
Maybe for Rain Man.
Maybe for Rain Man. Maybe that's why. I always like once I would hear as a kid or a teenager that a director won like best director or whatever. I would automatically write that down in my head, going, "Okay, remember that," because in my Walter Mitty life that I have a parallel universe where I am like famous, very thin and beautiful, also tall. And I have an amazing singing voice, and I'm also an award-winning actress. And so I would always keep those directors. Oh, well, I worked with this director and this director. I'm glad I never said Barry Levinson in my parallel universe. And before you
How
ask,
embarrassing would that be?
I know. Then everybody would know. The inner crazy of my life. Don't ask me why I have a parallel universe. I do. And if you don't, that's
everyone
your fault.
does.
It's your fault.
Everyone.
Oh wait,
does.
but no, don't diminish how awesome my parallel universe is.
Saying,
you dick.
Everyone's done that. Anybody who says they haven't done that is lying.
They're
or
lying
very,
to you.
very rich and always have been.
That's right. I said it. He said it. We said it.
Yeah. Disclosure.
That movie that we watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I want to go back to the fact that I didn't hate it. It's not a good movie. It's very clunky. Trashy. But I didn't hate it. I didn't detest it the way that, let's say, Junior pissed me off. Now, there's a bad fucking film. Having said that, the editing was not as bad on Junior. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was probably better done.
Probably better, yeah.
Yeah.
The editing here is so bad.
Like, I'm not like Sean where I have all this knowledge of film, but a couple of these moments where there's like a jump cut, I literally to Sean, like, I'm not crazy, right? That's bad. You don't do that, right?
You were physically jarred by a couple of the cuts.
I had whiplash, like my neck hurt. I'm like, oh, I guess it's Wednesday. I mean, it was just so random.
Just stops.
It just stops. Or they do an edit. Here's what drives me nuts. Something that I will say I do know something about. If you're going to cut a song, like the way that they edited, they jumped from one scene to another, and there was a song, but it wasn't like a song. Like, it was actual incidental, meant to be in their music that just chopped. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, usually you'd like a dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah, the film score just stops dead.
It just stops. And I looked at Sean and I thought, did I just have a stroke? Am I okay?
Speaking of the film score, it's just comically stupid at times. Like the big scene, there's a big scene where it's like so this movie follows the typical, McKee. It follows the McKee method, like you have a false crisis and a 3-act structure, false crisis, false dawn, real crisis, real dawn.
Right.
Very basic first year screenwriting shit. And they're having the false dawn where Michael Douglas, sorry, sorry, Mr. Keaton.
Sorry, Mr. Keaton.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Keaton.
Sorry, Dad.
He's not gonna come to this.
Nope.
He's not gonna come to Christmas now.
He doesn't even like you anymore.
He's never showed his penis in a movie.
Oddly enough, I would definitely have sex with Michael Keaton.
After you just called him Dad.
Well, I mean, yeah. But I have a very complicated relationship with... Okay, so anyway...
Don't unpack that.
I don't want to sleep with my dad. He's dead. But no, like I was saying with Michael Douglas, it's like, ew. But back in the day, Michael Keaton, he could have had Dutch boy hair. I still would have been like, yep, I'd go to dinner with you. I wouldn't be naughty.
You wouldn't end up ripping your panties off.
No.
On a pallet. What was that?
Yeah, it was a scaffold.
Scaffold.
And beyond that,
who fucks on a scaffold?
Well, when
honestly,
they have a perfectly soft, rolled up piece of carpet that they could have done it on. I don't know why you're choosing scaffold. I don't. You know what? Don't ask me. I don't know anything.
Fucking the rolled up carpet, not the scaffold.
That's right.
Where were we?
I think we dissociated.
Film score.
Yeah, film score. Yeah.
No, so they're doing the big false dawn. They've got a tape. They've got an audio tape of the encounter between Tom and Meredith. That's proving that he said no over and over again. While she was sexually assaulting him, he kept saying no, no, no. She sucked his dick anyway. He still kept saying no, no, no. Then he does rip her panties off. And he does start to put her down on the scaffolding and start to go. And she's like, put it in, put it in me over and over again.
Which I don't ever want to hear that again.
And then
Oh, damn.
And then he stops and leaves. And so there's a tape of that. So we get to the point where he's recovered the tape because he left his cell phone running and he'd called somebody.
Yeah.
And so it was on their answering machine. Because they had answering machines back then.
Oh, remember answering machines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember those cool songs you could get? Like those song tapes? Like it's the Casey and the Sunshine Band song, but it's like, I'm not home.
Yeah. Leave, leave, leave. Leave, leave, leave. Leave a message. Message. I do remember those. It's so good.
So good.
You know what? I'm going to do that on my phone.
Yeah.
I should totally do that. And that's going to throw people off so bad. Like, bill collectors, and they're like, oh, we didn't want to collect from you now. We just want to call and listen to your answering. That's awesome.
So they're going up this. They've got all this. They've got the tape, the answering machine tape. They're going to play it in their arbitration because it's not a court hearing; it's an arbitration.
Right.
And so he's thinking that he won, and Roma Mafia is thinking. So they're coming up this. They're coming up this thing, and the escalator to go to the office, and the triumphant score is playing so loudly. And then as it cuts to Donald Sutherland and Demi Moore behind him, the score just stops dead. And I turned to Amy and said, becoming Demi Moore for a moment.
Yeah.
I wish I could hear what they were saying over that incidental music.
It was so needlessly loud. Like,
there's another scene later where he sneaks into this hotel room where I guess all of the information from his company is like held on this one computer interface, the corridor, which you put on an AI, you put on like a virtual reality helmet and you go inside and you can look at files, which is apparently just in 1994, people could not believe this was possible.
I mean, we were in the future.
You had an angel that you could ask questions to. You had a virtual person. We'll have to break down this scene a little bit more.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
But he's snuck into this hotel room, and some people Donald Sutherland and the guys with the hotel room are coming up to essentially interrupt him. And it's looking like he's going to get caught. They're like, they can't get the key to work in the door. They're earning upside down.
It's you know what? Like,
oh my God, he did the key in the door thing.
He did the key in the door thing.
He actually does it in the movie.
That's wild. That's why. Okay, so that's why that memory was
wow.
Get it? The memory was unlocked.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. Yeah, there's something very
but
very like that's typical. Like, that's so easy. And you I kept saying to Sean, it's like, they call it, this is supposed to be a thriller. I wasn't thrilled once. Not once.
Not one time.
Nope.
But this is supposed to be a very thrilling scene where he's in the hotel room. He's got the virtual reality helmet on. He can't hear them coming in, and they can't hear that he's in there. And I think it's because the score is so loud.
Oh, so needlessly loud.
Actually, the score is so loud that it covers his escape.
It does.
Perfectly.
Wow. It'd be
because the second he gets around, he goes around like through a room and gets out while they're coming in that room.
Yeah.
And like the music is, then as we see him, the music dies down just perfectly as he slips quietly out the door.
Like, that was a choice, wasn't it?
Deliberate. It's absolutely deliberate. They think they're serving thriller goodness here, and they're just not.
We didn't get that. We didn't get
no, it's absolutely not. No, it was not a thrilling scene. It's a guy wearing a VR helmet fucking flipping through files. Meanwhile, as he's doing this, Demi Moore has logged in on the other side without a virtual reality helmet, by the way. But somehow she's represented by a virtual Demi Moore.
It's
in the file system corridor. Her face pops up on a body with boobs. Yeah. Because her avatar has to have boobs, I guess.
That's true. It does.
She comes like walking up behind him. And it's supposed to be like, I don't know, Psycho, like when he's behind her. Like the killer's behind her with the axe.
Oh my God.
Like, no.
But she doesn't know he's in there.
She can't see him.
Right.
Because she doesn't have a virtual reality helmet on.
Right.
So she doesn't have the corridor system. She's got only the files, which apparently are online and in this hotel room. Did they have this kind of technology, by the way, in 94? I don't even know if they could have a technology that would allow you to have all of the files from your system in a computer that's sitting in a hotel room miles away, and then also at your office that you can delete them.
I feel like even though the internet was live at that point, I still feel like they took liberties. Because they would
for storytelling purposes.
Well, yeah, but then they would like think like, this internet thing's probably not going to take off. We can pretty much do whatever the fuck we want, you know? Although,
well, I mean, I'm wondering. I bet he wrote Disclosure like in '88, like or something like that. Like even before, so he's having to really speculate as to what any of this is going to look like.
Wow, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. It looked terrible, though.
I mean, for the 1990, Barry Levinson does not know how to do special effects.
No,
he's a character guy. And somehow he doesn't even have to do that well in this movie.
You're Barry Levinson. I expected more from you, Barry.
I gotta look. I can't think of a Barry Levinson movie I actually like.
Yeah, I need you to do that too, because I swore that he was more important in my head than maybe he really is.
I guess I like Good Morning Vietnam.
When you say I guess, I feel like you don't mean it.
It's so much of it is just Robin. Like the rest of the movie is almost non-existent. So just point. Robin Williams just riffing. And occasionally, not in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Never.
To be clear.
Guys, no, absolutely not.
Well, yeah. I did. Okay, I like The Natural with Robert Redford.
Oh, that's just a classic. Yeah. Okay, so
Diner is not a terrible movie.
Oh, I like Diner. Actually.
Diner.
No, I'm remembering.
Young Sherlock Holmes I've never seen.
No, me neither.
Let's see. Tin Men. No. Okay. Let's see. I hate Rain Man. Avalon. I don't know. I've never seen Avalon. Bugsy is terrible.
Oh my God, Bugsy. That's one of the movies that I think I remember Barry Levinson's name, because you got fucking Warren Beatty and Annette Bening.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't like that movie?
No. God, no.
Was it bad?
It was bad. Yeah. It's a bad movie. Let's see. Toys is bad. Toys is a bad movie. Daring, bold, unique, bad.
I liked Toys.
Good for you.
Wait, see, why is it that your opinion matters? Toys visually was a very cool movie.
Did you like Jimmy Hollywood?
What the fuck is that?
It's with Joe Pesci plays Jimmy Hollywood.
Nope.
He's an unemployed actor. Him and Christian Slater.
God, no.
We almost watched it this year.
No, we didn't. What are you talking about?
Let's see. Sleepers. Boring.
I liked Sleepers.
Wag the Dog I used to like, and then not anymore. It doesn't hold up.
Love to Wag the Dog.
Don't watch it again. It does not hold up.
No, are you serious?
Does not hold up. Sphere is awful. Sphere is a terrible fucking movie.
Who is in Sphere?
Dustin Hoffman. Barry Levinson always works with Dustin Hoffman.
Are they like together?
Barry Levinson has also slapped Meryl Streep. No, can't prove that.
So you're gonna get sued. You get canceled for saying that Barry Levinson slapped Meryl Streep.
Barry Levinson has only ever slapped me with this movie. And his dick.
I'm telling you.
Anyway,
dick slapper.
Yeah, Bandits, bad. Envy, good God.
Who is in Envy?
Ben Stiller and Jack Black. Terrible fucking movie.
Oh, no.
It was so bad they didn't actually release it the year it came out. They waited like a year and a half because it was so terrible.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That would be like a period of time that I would have been big fans of both of them.
Yeah, he hasn't, oh my God, The Humbling. Oh, God.
The Humbling.
Oh, The Humbling. Al Pacino and Greta Gerwig. It is an utterly obnoxious film. Like, obnoxious.
Tell me how you really feel.
I fucking hated it so much.
Is it just...
It's obnoxious.
How is it obnoxious?
It insists upon itself, Lois.
It's one of the greatest Peter. That's
it insists.
It insists in something.
He's not
wrong. Yeah, I mean,
I love The Godfather. He's not wrong, and the movie does insist that you enjoy it.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I should do about my own life.
Just insist.
I'm insisting about myself.
I insist that my life is great.
No.
You know why I don't like Amy? She insists upon herself.
You know what? You wouldn't be the first person to say that.
So this is my 2015 review of The Humbling. The crazed, narcissistic, sexist ludicrousness of the humbling almost needs to be seen to be believed. I say almost because I really don't want you to waste your precious time watching this dreadful movie. Al Pacino has been wandering in the cinematic woods for years now. While he surrounds himself with talented people in The Humbling, each is defeated equally by the film. Based on the novel by Philip Roth, The Humbling stars Al Pacino as a washed-up actor, Simon Axler. Simon is beginning to lose his mind on stage one night in front of a disinterested crowd. Simon takes a header into the orchestra pit and winds up in a mental institution.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So he was humbled then? Like, don't call something something if you're not going to, like, actually do what the title says.
It's just so bad. But I did say that Greta Gerwig, Kira Sedgwick, Diane Wiest are all wonderful.
Well, you've got three amazing actors
Charles
there.
Grodin is in it as well, and they're all doing great. The rest of the movie is just absolute trash. So there you go. Barry Levinson, not my favorite director.
Wow.
Not a director whose work I've ever enjoyed, and certainly I didn't enjoy Disclosure. So we're on track. It's tracking now.
Here's the thing. I would love to meet the person, the one person in this world that says, you know what? I really enjoyed Disclosure. Because I would just say, how can you enjoy, like, enjoy, it indicates to me that you found joy in something. There's nothing to find joy with Disclosure.
Demi Moore's boobs. They look great.
They do look.
They look great.
Yeah.
Gotta say, Demi's boobs look fantastic.
Actually, her whole like being is just beautiful.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
She really is, and her voice. God, I killed to have that voice. I just, you know what? Also, I mean, just get rid of the director, rewrites, do better with certain things.
Fire Dennis Miller.
Michael Douglas.
Fire Dennis Miller.
Fire Dennis Miller. Yeah, I would love everyone to retroactively fire him from anything because fuck him. Fuck him. Fuck him so hard.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Our childhood hero.
Our childhood hero that we used to listen to
But
his comedy records. And
Amy, it's like Batman said. Or no, not Batman. It was Batman's friend said. Aaron Eckhart. Two-Face.
yeah.
Who Harvey Dent said that you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. And he lived long enough to become the villain.
You're going to make me cry. I hate that.
He was actually probably the villain the whole time. If we went back and watched that shit, I bet it's just probably as sexist and homophobic and racist as it is now.
But we really, like, there were things that he would say on his show when he would wrap up that were just so good. And now, oddly enough, it's like Jesus Christ put his hand in my brain and just removed any of that goodness. You know what I mean?
Damn it, Jesus, no. Wait, no, don't take Bill Maher, too.
No.
Oh, got Miller and Maher.
Yeah, he's like, you can keep Bill Hicks, though.
He didn't live long enough to become the villain.
That's true. That's true. I am... We did discuss that. It's like, if Bill were alive today, do you think he would be so horrible? And I don't think he would. He was already on that track where he was going to be like super liberal. I would be curious though to see who would win in a fight between him and Joe Rogan, because they were friends. And I say friends with air quotes. Fuck that guy, but
I mean, who would have thought that Doug Stanhope would be like the left wing comedian? Like, I don't know.
I know.
Doug fucking Stanhope was not the horse, the money on the horse I was going to put my money on.
Yeah.
To become the left-wing liberal comedian.
I didn't even know he was. I thought for sure he would go the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did not see that. But Stanhope is pretty much the, like, if you're going to take on that Hicks legacy, not that he's anything that good.
No, but because of the affiliation.
It's weird, like,
back in the day.
Also, like, he was on the Man Show too. And like, what's that weird divide? Like, Jimmy Kimmel's like super liberal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did they make this? Was the Man Show Crossfire this whole time? And we didn't know it.
Fuck that show. That's so funny though. Then you got Adam Carolla, Mr. I have no career now because I suck balls.
Then Stanhope and Rogan were the second host.
Exactly.
That's just so fucking weird.
Wow. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
So disclosure then.
Yeah, disclosure. So we segue away from talking about comedy before we get into Tom Segura. Oh, boo.
Man.
Let me just reach into your brain and take that one too. Okay, there we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I needed that.
Yeah. Disclosure.
Mm-hmm. Disclosure.
The sex scenes are supposed to be sexy and they're not. It's not just because you don't find Michael Douglas attractive.
That's a big part of it, but it's not
just the way it's shot too is just not. Well, I guess it's not intended. Is it intended to be? I have no idea what the intention is
of the film.
Is it intended to be sexy? Because it's like film. Like when we meet Demi Moore, we meet her legs first. Like we're building a puzzle here that's supposed to be like she's super sexy, and you find everything that she does sexy. I have the most confused boner right now.
It's kind of looking both ways. I don't understand. Which way do I go?
No means no, but boobs. No means no, but boobs.
This movie should be called Boobs the Musical. There's no music in it, but there should be. Well, it's supposed to be a musical.
Big Mouth. That's a Big Mouth reference for those of you who don't know.
You need to watch Big Mouth.
You gotta watch Big Mouth.
Really
Disclosure the Musical is one of the great animated musicals of all time. Man.
It's true. It's very true. Well, you know what? I saw that, and because you know who else had done that was Bob's Burgers, and they did
Working Girl.
It was Work Hard or Die Trying Girl, because Gene wanted Die Hard,
right?
Which is so great. And then obviously, yeah. So and then when they put the two plays together, you wouldn't think that they would work very well, but they do.
They do.
They do. They actually do. So.
Did they drop Harrison Ford off of Nakatomi Tower?
Oh, no. They should have. Actually, they should have. Or no, Sigourney Weaver. Yeah, they absolutely should have.
Sorry.
No. But God damn it was so good. So good. Yeah, I'd put that up there with Disclosure the Musical. I don't know.
Did you know, just a tangent, because we love tangents on the show. Did you know that it's mostly just Gen X who've been making this Die Hard as a Christmas movie thing happen?
Well, yeah.
And that other generations find that cringy?
Why?
I don't
know. What the fuck do you care? What the fuck do you care, other generations? This is clearly a battle for just us.
Amy, what do they know? They never drank out of the hose.
Oh, you're right. Kids these days don't know what it's like to almost burn your entire tongue off by drinking out of a very hot hose. I'm sorry, I didn't do that enough.
Gen X, just stop.
Just stop.
Just stop.
Well, and you know what? You older millennials, you need to stop too. Please do.
But just if I hear one more person from our generation say they drank out of the hose, and I got to push back on one more thing too, just on this tangent. This idea that we left when the sun came up and didn't come home till the streetlights came on. Fuck you. We had video games. We had the first fucking Nintendo.
That's right.
The very first Nintendo came out when I was that age, and we stayed in basements for hours.
Our parents had to tell us to go outside because, luckily for us, we grew up very much more interested in technology and TV, music, movies. That was more our speed. Yeah, it's like, we played outside occasionally if we got a new bike or something like that. But if you gave us a choice between Nintendo and biking,
we played outside as much as Gen Z does.
Yeah.
As much.
That's it.
As much. This notion that we played outside more than any other generation. Fuck you.
That's right. That's right.
And the only reason the boomers played outside is because they didn't have any fucking video games.
Yeah. That was before the information.
You sit there and just make it all high and mighty like you went outside and breathed air. Fuck you.
Whatever.
You only did that because you didn't have anything better to do.
You never drank out of a hose. You know how many fucking diseases you can get from doing shit like that? And I'm not kidding you when I say I did that and I scalded my fucking tongue, and that was the dumbest choice I ever made in my life.
I did ride in the back of an open truck.
Oh, I did too.
But anybody could, there's still trucks today. Anybody could do that if they wanted to. It's not a generational thing.
Right.
Get the back of I see people in the back of trucks all the time.
All the time.
All the time. So don't tell me that's a generational thing. Like that's just, oh, we were Gen X. We didn't have any rules.
No.
Fuck you.
You know, sexual harassment's definitely generational because let's face it, you know, I mean, our generation and probably the elder millennials as well, were the last ones, last generation to not say, hey, don't do that. You know what I mean? Straight up. The generations younger than us are actually standing up and saying, no, you guys suck. Don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
So
here's the thing. Michael Douglas and for anybody, don't just put your hands on people.
Don't do that. Just don't do it.
He pats his secretary on the butt.
With a folder.
Oh, it was a different time.
It was a different time.
She didn't ask him to slap her on the butt, and I don't care that she slapped him on the butt later. That was their way of justifying that it was okay.
Yeah, which is so wrong.
They threw that in just to justify it.
Yeah.
So don't give me that. Keep your hands to yourself, people. Unless you know, like this person, like you two have this relationship where you could touch each other, and it doesn't like have to mean anything. Unless you've established that depth to your relationship, keep your hands to yourself. Do not touch strangers.
Yeah, just don't.
Do not put your hands on a stranger.
No.
Just don't. Well, if you want to shaking hands, fine. If a stranger puts their arm on my shoulders, I'm going to punch them in the face. You're getting punched. If somebody tried to rub my shoulders, like Michael Douglas apparently did to his secretary, punched in the face. Do not rub my shoulders if you're a stranger.
If you're a stranger, the only stranger I would allow to come up and touch me, the only stranger, is going to be Robert Sheehan. It's going to be him. Yes, because we are strangers, technically. I know who he is. He doesn't know who I am. But if he came up and put his hand on my shoulder and said, hey, where's the loo? I'd put my hand on his hand and go, well, sweetheart, it's over there. And that would probably be the last of our interaction. But if you're not him or Paul Rudd, don't touch me. Don't touch me. That's it.
All we're saying is just be a better judge of the situation. Read the moment better.
Read the room, read the moment. And again, how would you feel if somebody did that to you?
Honestly, that's the only thing that anyone has ever asked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we demonize people who complain about sexual harassment, or especially women who complain about sexual harassment. Like, basically, what Clarence Thomas did to Anita Hill, she was basically just saying, please stop doing that. Mm-hmm. And they made her go to Congress just so she could tell him, what you did made me uncomfortable.
Yes.
And I really wish you hadn't done it.
Right. But then they made her the villain.
How
does that work?
I don't know.
But, again, this movie had more of a platform to do something better with something like this. Don't make it into a thriller. Do something about this kind of, culture in work society that was going on for a long time and still fucking does. This movie had the potential to do something better instead of make it a thriller. Because all you did was just like, oh, we reversed the roles. No, it's the woman, like, oh, fuck off,
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to say it again. This movie is not as terrible as it was said to be. It's just not good.
Yeah, it's just not good.
And it's just done wrong.
And I know everybody wants to, I think what people are looking for probably right now is just to see how offensive the movie is in its presentation. And honestly, it presents this situation, this specific situation. If you don't look at it as a representation of every time a man, he represents every man or she represents every woman. If you get that kind of bullshit out of the way, they present this about as well as they can in terms of the conflict between him and Meredith. The he said, she said, her abusing her power over him to try and get what she wants. That is presented about as well as they can. But again, it's centered upon a scheme that is so stupid and falls apart so easily that it's kind of fucking embarrassing for the rest of the movie.
Right.
Because like when you fucking fist pumped when Roma Mafia got Demi Moore to in that situation where she was like having to admit, I'm a sexually aggressive woman and I like aggressive sex, and that makes me the villain. Like she's doing her little monologue there. But then you also like kind of cheered too at the end when Michael Douglas like does his big presentation at the end, and he's like, well, actually, Meredith, and he's doing this, well, actually, a very smug, well, actually, Meredith, you ordered the chips be put in by hand, and you ordered the filters that couldn't stop the dirt. and they've got her dead to rights, and she cuts up there and she does her Jack Nicholson, "You want me on that wall, you need me on that wall" monologue, and you kind of cheered when Michael Douglas got one over on her.
I did.
So there's like that aspect of it is effective. Like the Demi Moore Michael Douglas dynamic is kind of effective.
It is.
Every time I watched this movie, I kind of expected that to be this offensive, like trying to defend all men, and it's not that necessarily.
No,
like there's kind of there's a kind of like a thing like that, but maybe it's Douglas. I don't know. Maybe I think Douglas kind of pulls back from that idea.
I agree.
In fairness to his performance.
Well, and again, and let me just say this, because I always come off like a cunt on here, and it's fine. And I don't think I need to say this, but just to be clear, I don't think Michael Douglas is a bad actor. I think he's a very good actor. I enjoy his performances. Romancing the Stone is still one of my favorites. But I just don't understand why we kept trying to shove actors like this down our throats to be these sexy god-like. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's all I'm saying about that. No, and again, I was actually kind of concerned too. I thought, oh, we're gonna have a field day with this movie.
Yeah,
we really didn't.
Not really.
Like, we made fun of it like we make fun of every movie we watch.
Well, we made fun a lot more of the technical and structural issues of the movie than the actual. The politics aren't terrible, I guess.
No.
I say that with a great deal of reservation because, I'm sure there's somebody who could prove me wrong, but...
Oh, yeah. We go back through it. It's like, did you not see this? It's like, all right, look, we were just paying attention to the shit we were paying attention to. You shut your dirty mouth. But yeah. Do you need to see disclosure? No.
No, God, no. Don't waste your fucking time.
No. If you want Sean's password for the next 48 hours to watch it, feel free.
Send your request to Pueblo, Colorado.
That's right, 69696. Yeah.
If you want to get a hold of me, leave me a message called 588-2300.
Oh, and if somebody says, hello, this is Empire, don't believe him. It's Sean's line. So ultimately, consensus. I'm kind of glad Fuzzy wasn't here for this one because I feel like
they would have been very uncomfortable.
Yeah, especially with the cock sucking in the beginning. Yeah. What do we have? What are we watching next time?
You fill time or something, would you?
No.
Fill the time.
Fill the time with what?
You're speaking with your voice.
No one's ever asked me to do that before.
No? Get to it.
Okay. So I went to New York.
You're done now.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I did go to New York. I went to Brooklyn with a friend of mine, a good friend of mine who I've been friends with on and off, who I made fun of on this very podcast many times when we're not talking. And we went and stayed in Brooklyn. This is the second time we've done it to go see the band, The Hold Steady, for their massive nights. They do a 4-night thing at the Brooklyn Bowl. And I had an amazing time. It was just a really, really cool place. If you've been to Brooklyn, that's awesome. I would love to live there one day. And not only that, what I wanted to mention was if you go down certain streets, you're going to see these things hanging off of the streetlights. So you go up and you read them, and they tell you when you can't park there because Law and Order SVU is filming there on Tuesday. And they're like 4 streets we went down.
Yeah.
And then we actually even crossed over on the ferry, and we went over to I think it was Dumbo. And we go over there, and then there's more for fucking. I'm like, Jesus, Law and Order, we get it, okay? You're popular. You're filming all over. That's fine. But it was kind of fun to see.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Dumb and Dumber next week. Thanks.
Bye.